Their head coach, Kevin Wilson, won 6 games last year, is starting his 6th year at IU, and just signed a 6-year extension to stay there. We're glad to welcome in Kevin right now. Why don't we start with the guy I just brought up with the famous family history, Keontae Enos. What does that signing mean for you guys?
Well, an in-state guy, you know, as we went through this year and going through kind of trying to stabilize the program. I think we lost some in-state guys we'd have liked to have, and you know, we always start in the Midwest, start at home, but to get Keontae here at the end, it's an in-state kid. It's awesome. Had over 7,000 career rushing yards, 99 TDs. He's got a pretty good skill set, though. He's long. He's got a skill set to play receiver. He can play defensive back, great special teams, so tremendous athlete. So very excited to have him, and we'll start him at running back. That's where his heart is, and I think we do some things offensively where he can move some guys around. So he's pretty good with the ball in his hand, and we need to get some guys like that this year, so we're glad he's with us.
I want to talk to you about what the feeling is like when you get a verbal commitment, because on Twitter you would go and put hashtag boom and then hashtag a 3-digit number, which I'm assuming is what, the area code of the guy you got?
It's like some cryptic code that the NCAA says is legal. You know, at the end of the day, shoot, in this day and age, everything's so public. I mean, I don't know what a commitment is. You know, you're supposed to stand by the scholarship, yet kids still want to visit and all this deal. So as we go through some rules, and I don't know, I heard Coach mention earlier about some rules and changes and stuff. I don't know if we need to change the calendar because kids are committing early. Sometimes you're seeing schools pull out on kids. You're seeing kids pull out on schools. I wish we had just an earlier August day just to lock it in so a commitment was for real and you knew it, or if the kid was still shopping or the school was still shopping, you could still do business appropriately. This last minute, these last 2 weeks, it's a free-for-all, man. It's hectic as all get out.
You think that's possible, that we could see a change like that sometime soon?
You know, I don't know, because there's so many different agendas and votes, and you got to get enough. So it is what it is. It's just with social media and so much coverage of recruiting, which I think is awesome for the sport. It's awesome you guys doing this coverage. I know sitting up there years ago, I made a comment, we're missing the boat by not having a great signing day show by BTN. So I appreciate you guys covering the conference and all of us. It's a great branding opportunity. But at the end of the day, there's so many agendas. It just is what it is. Everything's so public in recruiting. It's hard to hang on, and that goes back to relationships. You better have coaches that have built relationships of trust, so as kids get bombarded down the stretch, they believe in you and believe in your program and stick with you. And for the most part, that happened for us this year.
Well, it's certainly a longer signing day show. I don't know if it's great. You should see the guys I'm sharing the desk with over here.
But you guys have had a long off season, so you got your stamina built up. So you can get 8 hours in the show.
That's true.
You guys have been able to have proper recovery and rest recovery that we all need to function at a high level.
Let me focus on your class for a second. Would you say offensive line is the strength of this class?
Well, we needed offense, even though you can look and say our defensive numbers hasn't been as good and our offense has been good. The last few years, we've taken so many defensive recruits. We needed to replenish the offense this year. And you don't wait till a guy's leaving. You're recruiting a year or two in advance so you can develop those guys. I think the offensive line bodies are outstanding. Coy Crunk's a baseball catcher that I saw playing middle linebacker. That's pushing 6'5", it's already pushing 285 pounds. He's an athletic kid. I think he's got a high ceiling. Mackenzie Nowar, a very athletic guard out of Houston, Texas. We're very intrigued about Grayson Stover, another big athletic tackle. Ryan Smith. Those big bodies are good. I really like the tight end bodies. Ian Thomas, tripped Texas A&M last week. Our JC tight end. Sean Bonner plays for one of the national championship high school teams in Colquitt County, Georgia. Tyler Natee, 6 foot, 263-pound quarterback, is basically a wildcat, big running back. And you throw the receivers and the 2 running backs in our class. I really think we did a great job of offensive recruiting this year. And as we graduate, someone compared this class to our 2012 class. And I said, well, I like that because Tevin Coleman was an All-American, Jason Spriggs was an All-American, Dan Feeney's an All-American, and Nate Sudfeld threw for 7,500 yards. And that's not talking Mangieri and all the other players. So that's a pretty good class. So to compare that class to this one, that's the class that got this program going. I like the kids we've got right now.
Staying on offense, you signed a 6 foot 6-inch JUCO QB, Richard Lego. I'm trying to think the last time you succeeded with a 6 foot 6-inch QB. I mean, it's been forever. I mean, Sudfeld was what, 5 weeks ago?
Yeah, and not that he's that guy yet. We'll see. He's got great potential. We do need to have a great spring direction to get a quarterback direction. Richard comes in with a big arm, but he's going to have to learn our system. He's going to have to prove he can lead the football team. We'll look at Donovan Hill, an athletic quarterback that we moved to receiver. Austin King's a true freshman, and we still have Xander Diamont, Danny Cameron. But we'll need to get a great direction early, and with Richard Lego's skill, he's going to be very much in the mix from the get-go.
The first commit of your class was a quarterback, too, Peyton Ramsey. What drew you to him?
Coach's kid, Cincinnati Elder, winner. Two-time GCL Player of the Year. I think they play about, there's a lot of places that play good football, but that Cincinnati Greater Catholic League's pretty impressive. And, like I say, his father played quarterback at Louisville, known his dad, Doug, forever. So excited to have Peyton, tremendous player, winner, competitor. Again, he's going to be a young guy that needs to develop, but he's got some intangibles I think gives him a chance to be a great quarterback in our league.
We have a graphic, Kevin, of a state-by-state breakdown of where you got your kids from, and we see the most coming from Ohio, second most coming from Florida. What is your philosophy on where you try to aim to get some of your guys?
Well, we'd like to do better in our own home state. I think being a state school, I think it's hard to beat your state institution. I don't care what state you're from, and playing Big Ten East football and the opportunities there. So we'd like to do a little bit better in state. We'll work hard there, but we try within 5 hours we can get into St. Louis, Chicago, Michigan, and of course Ohio. Ohio's always been good for us. Landed some quality players there, like Cole Guest out of St. Ed's. You hadn't mentioned him. Ohio's been very, very good for us. Jonah Morris out of Akron, Hoban. Those are 2 state championship teams out of Ohio. The Georgia-Florida going down I-75 has always been good, too. So we start in the Midwest. We seem to get 8 or 10 or 12 in the Midwest. I'd like to have a few more Hoosier State kids each year. And then we seem to get 6, 8, 10, 12 out of that Georgia-Florida. And then this year we signed 3 Texas kids. So you bop around a little bit after that. But the bulk is Midwest and then a little bit in Georgia-Florida.
Last one for you, Kevin. I mentioned at the top you have that 6-year extension. How were you able to use that to help you on the recruiting trail?
Well, at the end, it showed some stability that, the offense, and we did make a change at defensive coordinator, that we got some stability to try to get our packages and our program right. The next thing to me, it happened late enough, but next year, again, hopefully we'll be a little bit stronger in state and we can do better locally. These kids are going to buy the fact that the program's on some stable ground. We got a long way to go, Mike. Now, we've gotten to where we're competitive and playing consistently competitive. We got to consistently start winning, and that's the next step. So appreciate the administration, the opportunity to build and brand, but we got a lot of work to do, and I think this class will help us a lot.
Played in the Pinstripe Bowl just a matter of weeks ago. Kevin Wilson, #boom. Congratulations on the class. Thanks, Kevin.
Go IU. Boom it up. Thanks.